Hello, welcome to Have a Tea with me. My name is Chris. This channel is Lesson Jigsaw. We are here to help you practice English, practice speaking English, practice your English language conversations. If you're an English language learner and you're thinking, I've got all this vocabulary, all these things I want to say, but I never get a chance to really say them. I don't get the practice that I want to. Well, this is your opportunity. Certainly come and join us. You will see in the comments or in the chat, there is a link. And if you click on that link, you can chat with us. Simple as that. You come on through to the studio and we can talk about whatever you like to talk about. Today is Friday the 4th of March. Just get that up there. So Friday the 4th of March. I hope you're having a good day. There are troubles around the world, but we hope wherever you are, you're able to keep safe. That's a very important thing. Yes, it's different. Well, there's always something going on, I suppose, but nevertheless, it's not good to see. But anyway, we hope you are safe and well wherever you are. I've got a green tea today. It is. I'm not sure if that the steam doesn't come up. I think on the camera there, but I was just over the steam before, and it's manic. I say it's manic. The steam coming from the tea. So that's clearly an indication to me that I need to wait for a little while before I start sipping on that tea. So at the moment, I'm going to be enjoying a nice bottle of water. It's a bit cooler. And anyway, depending on where you are in the world, maybe you're heading into winter or maybe you're heading into summer. Where I am at the moment, we're slowly moving towards summertime, and it's definitely warmed up. I would say the overall temperature has warmed up, particularly in the nighttime. Nowhere near as cold in the nighttime where I am at the moment. So what have you been doing today? How's your week been? Did you do anything special this week? Did you, at the start of a week, do you have like a list, a to-do list, if you like, a to-do list of things that you would like to complete or achieve, and that sort of thing? Do you do that? I do that sometimes. It depends on. I have to say I do it more for work things rather than for personal things, which is probably not a good thing. It's probably better if I did that sort of stuff more for excuse me, just clearing my throat. If I did that more for personal stuff. I don't know, what do you reckon? But certainly for work, I would have a to-do list. I would do daily, weekly, and monthly to-do lists because obviously different things are due at different times. Different things are due at different times. Therefore, I would create 3 to-do lists. Different things to do at different times. Therefore, I would create 3 to-do lists. Now, I say 3. I'm sort of exaggerating there a little bit. It's all on the one page, but it's the three timelines, if you like, are under consideration. I guess it depends also how you organize that list, how you arrange it. maybe you do it in different ways. So there's no rule. There's no rule. Do you know what I mean? There's no rule. It's about getting the job done. That's the most important thing. It's about getting the job done. Is that right, though? Is that right? I suppose it could also be it's getting the job done, but it's also getting the job done in the right way, because you don't want to have the job done and then you find out, if you've made something, so you've constructed something, not necessarily a building, but just you've made something, and if it all falls to bits, that hasn't been a very good use of time, because then you may have to do it again. If it all falls to bits, you'll have to do it again. So therefore, that could be a waste of time. So do you know what I mean when I say it all falls to bits? It all falls to bits. So it's not working correctly, or it all literally comes apart. I suppose that you would use that more in a literal sense, wouldn't you? But it could be maybe you've written something, and the whole thing you need to start from scratch. Okay, you can start from scratch. Back to the drawing board. Drawing board. You need to start from scratch. That's right. Good suggestion. You need to start from scratch. Back to the drawing board. So that's I guess the important thing is it's what you do and how you do it. So in terms of the method and also the quality of the product at the end, or the product, the whatever it is that you're producing. So yes, I don't know. It's those things are important, but I do wonder if the people. I don't know if you do things for yourself or if you do things for other people in terms of work. I mean, or whatever the work is. If it's if you're working in an office or out on the road somewhere, or if it's you're studying and you need to produce something for a teacher or a professor or something, or if you're working at home, or if it's I don't know, wherever it may be, if it's online. I wonder if there is a person who needs to check your work, or checks your work, or authorizes things, or gives everything the A-OK. I wonder if they're concerned about the task getting done, or how long it takes to do the task. Do you know what I mean? I wonder if that's a consideration. Tell me what you think. Let me know in the comments, in the chat. Do you think should work be more about the actual task? So you do the task and that's the value of your work, or is it a matter of, you need to work for X amount of hours? How in English we say X for just general examples. You work for X, please put the X for X in, X amount of hours. So put the X in just to say it could be 2, 5, 10, 20, 40, 35, who knows, whatever the hours are. So you work for X amount of hours, so maybe it's 7 hours a day or 8 hours a day. And you complete those hours. So is it more important for the person who's watching, for them to that you've done the hours or that you've done the task? Or have done whatever tasks? Or is it, oh, are they just happy that, as we said, the place hasn't fallen to bits and so everything's okay, we can continue for one more day? Along those lines. I wonder if it's like that. It's hard to know, isn't it, with some places? Some places, different managers and different supervisors and whatever have a different way of doing things. Okay, so just a reminder, this is Have a Tea with Me. This is an open live English conversation chat. What we chat about is up to you. If I'm here by myself, I just chat, about stuff by myself. But if you're here, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you want to practice certain things, certain situations, certainly we can do that as well. If there's certain language you want to practice, we can practice that. I guess it's almost limitless. As long as everyone's respectful, it's all good, I would say. What else? Oh, now, so we're on at 12 o'clock Universal Time, Monday to Friday. That's the current schedule. I'm not sure. Maybe we might change that at some point. But currently, for this show, Have a Tea with Me, 12 o'clock Universal Time, Monday to Friday. If that time is not good for you, if you're thinking, I'm watching this on the replay, Chris, but I would like to, I can't do it at that time because I'm working or sleeping or studying or in meetings or doing this and that or whatever. I'm taking the dogs for a walk at that time. That's the time that we have to do that because that's the time that I can squeeze it in. Or maybe you're a professional dog walker. Maybe you have to go up to, 5 or 6 different places on the street or in the neighborhood and you're collecting all the dogs and you take all the dogs for a walk. Maybe, it could be. Whatever the reason is, this is not a good time, send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. That's chatonlessonjigsaw. And you can let us know where you are, your time zone and that sort of thing, what you'd like to talk about, and we can see if we can have a chat, organize a time to talk, to do a live stream. So obviously in different parts of the world, it's a different time. So obviously with the date that we saw before, in most places in the world, it's the 4th of March now, but not everywhere. If you're in New Zealand or some of the Pacific countries, it's going to be Saturday already. It's almost going to say it's the weekend, but other places have Friday as the weekend anyway. So it's long been the weekend. So depending on where you are, or maybe you're a hospitality worker, and your weekend is, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe, or Monday, Tuesday. Different things. But anyway, so the point is the same, irrespective. The point is, you can send us an email and we can see if we can work something out. You'll see that email address scrolling across the bottom there. Okay, it's getting good. I have to say, even though I'm drinking tea, I do. What's the longest time you've been advised to, soak the tea bag for? Like on some of these tea bags that I use, and I know some people go, "Oh, tea bags, don't like tea bags," but anyway. But some of these tea bags, some of them are 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Others I've seen, I think the highest I've seen is 8 minutes, where they say it's keep it in the water for 8 minutes. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I wonder, when you prepare your tea, if you're using a tea bag, do you pour the water onto the tea bag? And do you jiggle? You know what I mean? Do you jiggle the tea bag up and down? Or around and around, maybe, to stir it around? Are you a jiggler? Was there a brand? There was a brand, I'm sure, that used to, something with jiggle was in their slogan or something, I think, once. But I can't remember the brand. I can't remember the slogan. But sorry, I think there was something. That's not the best story, but anyway. Okay, so that opportunity is open for you. So all you gotta do is, as I say, click on the link or send us an email. Let's explore some photos, because this is, as we know, it's an easy way to practice talking about something, and it's a good sort of stimulus. Now, where in the world are we here? I don't know where this is. I don't know. If I was to guess, I would say, looking at sort of like the balconies and that sort of thing, although it's still hard to tell just from the balconies. It looks European to me. The city looks European. So if we think of our question words, because if you want to practice speaking, I really do think this is a good way to go. If you're trying to think of things to talk about, think of the question words. So it could be like a picture or a text or whatever. Think about the question words. So for example, with this picture, you at the question words, and we think of like, who's there? Who's in the picture? And then you go, okay, well, in this picture, there's looks like a market, and it's a street market. And if you're talking about who, you could talk about the customers, the people walking by, probably a lot of tourists, maybe some locals. It depends on the market. This looks like a touristy market though, doesn't it? With all the bits and pieces there. Whereas the locals would be more everyday sort of items, I'd say. And you also, so you've got the sellers, you've got the stall holders, you've got, I can't see any in here, but maybe you could have people like police or security, that sort of thing. Maybe you've got like delivery people or people who move stuff from one place to another place, like using a trolley or something. So you can talk about, all those sorts of people for who, and go into different types of detail and analyzing. And so you can go to different depths. So you just do like a basic, like who's in the photo. It's tourists and some market stall sellers. But you could also then go, okay, where are the tourists from? How long do you think this is their first day there? Do they look comfortable? All that sort of stuff. So you can delve a little bit deeper. Are the tourists, do they look like they're from a particular area? Like from particular continents, or is it like a mixture, a multicultural tourist group that's visiting? Are they being guided, or are they walking alone? All that sort of stuff. So talk about the who, the what are they doing? So both for the sellers and for the tourists. Are they just browsing? Are they just looking at the merchandise for sale? Are some of them touching and feeling the products, trying them on, seeing how they fit? Are they trying to barter? Or maybe not barter, but trying to haggle is probably more appropriate. I suppose you could barter, but that would probably be more between the shop holders. So bartering is like when you swap one product or service for another. So there's no no cash payment, if you like, no money. So like the old system, how I wasn't around then, but how people used to work. So maybe some of them, that means the let's call them the shoppers, the shoopers, no, the shoppers. Good suggestion. Some of them are haggling. And I don't know, this is where perhaps a guidebook can be very useful. If you're in different or visiting different countries, or when you first get to the market, just to see if there are locals there in particular, see what they do. Sometimes there could be a language difficulty, but you could sort of watch what they do and see if they're haggling. So the stall holder says, "How much for this cup?" And they go, "Oh, that's $10." They go, $10? No, $10. I can't believe it. No. I'll give you $3 for that. And then so on. They go, "No, okay. For you, special price, $6." And all that sort of stuff. So that's haggling. So, but as we continue, yeah. So then you get my point. As you go through this question word, so when could this be? This could be on the weekend, or could be on during a particular festival. Maybe you can see particular styles of dress or particular things that are being sold, and therefore particular times of year. Maybe for a religious occasion, I guess, is very common in many parts of the world, but not necessarily. It could also just be for particular occasions for a country or for a city. They're celebrating some type of anniversary. The anniversary maybe of being a city or something like that. And so the when, it could also be like daytime or nighttime, because some places, of course, have day markets and other places have night markets, and some both. Where here we saw in our market, the picture that we're looking at, we see this market. This is obviously in the daytime, because we see the clouds and the blue sky and everything like that. And also with the clothes that people are wearing, it seems like a reasonably warm place. So it's either in the summertime or in a place where the climate is normally warm or fine, let's say. So I don't think there's anyone there with long sleeves on. I don't think I can see anywhere. I can't see anyone with long sleeves on. So that's the reason why I say it's either in the winter, or in the summer, or in a place where the climate. So like there'll be some countries where you have pretty warm temperatures throughout. I think sort of near the equator, isn't it? So like a little bit up and down from the equator, or the closer to the equator, the more level. I'm not sure if that's the right way to say. Or maybe is that true? Maybe that's just something I learned. That's not true. It's no. Maybe that's an old wives' tale, as they say, for an expression. An old wives' tale. So yeah, okay. So this we were talking about where, and that's it's a combination of where and when. Why? You can ask why. You can ask why the tourists are there. You can ask why they're stopping at that particular stall, why that stall holder is selling that thing, why they're selling it for that price, why they sell it in a stall and not a shop, why in that market and not another market, all those sorts of things, why they're wearing those clothes. You can ask about anything, but you see what I mean? You can go through different sort of depths, and that you can dive deeper, as they say. You can dive deeper into whatever you're talking about. And then, of course, the how. And then, of course, you can have many, many questions from that. But I put those 6 up there just as the basic question words, if you like, or the most common, perhaps. Just as a way of inspiring, let's say. So you look at, how do they get the stalls in there? How do they close off the traffic? Is this a pedestrian street where there are no cars normally, or do they block it off like at a few different exits or entrances? So it's closed off to traffic maybe on the weekend, or on a Sunday, or on a Saturday, or on a Thursday. I remember in London, I'm not sure if they still have, I remember they used to have like markets. What was that magazine? Time Out. You can Time Out magazine, list all the markets, and sometimes like there would just be a market like some of them be like every day of week. Some of them, like Camden, I think would be the famous ones if you're in London. But just around and you would find these different sort of markets around. So you say like on Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday, they have a market. So you go there on a Thursday, and you've got like, it might be like, I don't know, that might be going to exaggerate, but maybe it'd be like 10 meters or 20 meters, and there's like maybe 7 or 8 stall holders or whatever. A lot of things might be like artisan or whatever. Maybe it depends, like it could be like people have holidays and whatnot, so you could have different types of experiences there. But it's it's a curious thing when different places have markets, and when they have markets during the week, but not during summer holiday times, just like normal weeks, let's say, an everyday week, not a holiday week, or when most people would be on holiday, let's say. Because like in if you're talking about Europe, for example, and America, I think it is as well, you would have lots of holidays in July, August sort of time. A lot of people might be having holidays. And then in the southern hemisphere, particularly the bottom of the southern hemisphere, December, January, you have a lot of people, with summer holidays. So, and I assume they're the main holidays for people. I think that's right to say. I don't know, you tell me if that's right or wrong, but I think most countries have their largest, and I guess we associate the holidays based on when schools go on holidays, schools and universities and that sort of thing, when they tend to have their biggest holiday periods, and maybe in some cases public services and that sort of thing. Because I guess anyone with if they're working like for a company, a lot of those holidays would be on application. So you need to apply to the boss and say, hey, can I have a holiday this week, or like in 3 weeks time, or in 2 months or something? And they go make bookings and that sort of thing. It could be, it could be. And I say it could be, but I imagine that's the case in most places. But I do also know there are other places where they have maybe, and it'd be different in different countries, won't it? The amount of holidays in a year. But I know some, well, I wouldn't say places, but certainly I know some companies that used to have specific times of the year when it would be like closed. They would just close the office, and you couldn't work. So a lot of places where I worked, I remember they had between Christmas and New Year would be off. And I guess it obviously depends on the type of company, because depending on who the company is and the customer base, a lot of the customers may, have no need. And the customers are all on holidays themselves, so they're not, using the whatever services that company may provide. So it could be something like that. Could be something like that. Here's a question: Have you ever had an application refused? I'm thinking more in terms of, because of the conversation here, like in terms of holiday. You ever had an application refused? And how did the boss or the manager or whatever, how did they tell you? Were they nice about it, or were they not the best, shall we say? Maybe they were not the best. This is an interesting market. I still think, I'm not actually sure if I said it, but I think I think this is a European place. It has a European feel to it, just when I look around. And I don't think I can zoom in. Can I? No, I can't. I can't zoom in there on some of those things, because it's more, I can't really tell from the stalls. I'll be looking more at some of the shops behind. Yeah, I think if just looking at this, I would guess. Still hard for me to tell that writing, but I think it could be. Yeah, like from those buildings, I would guess maybe something like Italy or Spain, maybe. Italy or Spain, maybe. Maybe even Portugal. France? I'm not sure. Or could it be, I guess another way you can tell as well is looking at the ground and seeing how clean the ground is and what the ground is made of. Although there's, if it's just like concrete or something, you can't necessarily tell, but sometimes in some places you can tell. And also you can tell by how clean it is. Because I do remember, I know the reputation is there. I do remember going to Switzerland once and just going, it was like unbelievably clean, like unbelievably clean. There was like nothing on the ground, not on the road or on the footpaths, or the sidewalk, as they say in America, or just like anywhere. It was like, I don't know if it was just I happened to go there at the perfect time to fit in with the stereotype or the marketing for there, but it was just unbelievably clean, like really. And I think I think now maybe it might be different now, but when I went, I was trying to think now, because I don't think I saw like that many rubbish bins around the streets. There may have been, maybe they were sort of more discreet, but like, I don't think there were that many. I just think people don't, I think perhaps like if people say go and smoke, they would do it near a place that has maybe it was before the smoking laws were in. People were smoking inside, maybe, but even still, But maybe like they only smoke. That's just their culture. So they smoke. They always find a place, like an ashtray somewhere, or a place to, or they know it, or they take something to put the cigarette butt in, or maybe the culture is not to eat outside, in the sense of, like, in some countries you'll see like people walking and eating, or sitting on a bench, like with, this is like again, like London and like English and that sort of thing. You'll see people like sitting on a bench eating a sandwich, tucking into a sandwich or a roll or something. They've got the little plastic dish and they're eating in the park or wherever. And inevitably there would be food or rubbish or scraps, or the drinks, the cans, or the little plastic cups, or the wrappers, or whatever, and you just find rubbish. But in Switzerland, no. Switzerland, no. Still the cleanest, overall, the cleanest place that I visited. Okay, well, I think we're going to leave it there for today. If you're watching on the replay, hope you're having a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and watch and that sort of thing. Oh, we got Sonia just popping in. How you going, Sonia? Cloudy day in Argentina. Cloudy but warm, or cloudy and cold? We had a cloudy day here the other day. And it was some days I find, you tell me if you find this too, some days when it's cloud, because the clouds are like keeping the warmth in a lot of the time, and the clouds would keep in the warmth. Okay, yeah, like you're saying, so it'll be warm. But there'll be other days where it's cloud. Maybe it's a different type of cloud, but it'd be like cloudy, and particularly if it's breezy, if there's wind coming through. And it was like this the other day, 3 or 4 days ago, I can't remember. But it was like you go outside and it was like whoosh. So cloudy and windy, but a cold wind. It was a cold wind, very cold wind. But yes. So what are you up to today, Sonia? What's happening today? Oh, let me ask you this, Sonia. Take that away. Take myself away there. Do you know these apps, Sonia? I wonder if these are all easy to recognize. And I guess if you see them, they look sort of distinctive. The one with the S can be distinctive, but it also looks very common. But I had a look a while back at the most popular apps around the world and in different continents. It was, and as an overall, these were particularly high. Of course, there were. I didn't put ones like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram on. Okay, yeah, that's absolutely right. One is Telegram. That's the blue one. And I I love the Telegram logo, just because it sort of takes me back to childhood, and it's got the old paper plane. So you just get the paper, wrap it up, and but yes, the old paper plane. That was, I do remember. I wonder how much time at school was taken up making paper planes, making and flying paper planes. And not just in physics or maths, just for fun or not doing classwork. I reckon there'll be probably, if you added up all of schooling, probably about 2 weeks of school time, like 100% of the time dealt with just making and throwing paper aeroplanes. Is Telegram popular in my country? In my country, WhatsApp is the most popular. I would say in general, WhatsApp is more popular in probably most, I don't know. It's hard to say. Because I guess I'm only going from my experience, but certainly WhatsApp was the first one that I can think of as an independent messaging app that a large group of people used. Because you had before, of course, now Messenger, say with Facebook, Messenger, of course, now is a separate app. But before, Messenger was inside Facebook. So you had to be part of Facebook to use Messenger, and some people didn't want to be on Facebook. So you couldn't use that to message them. And so WhatsApp was the first real one that I can think of where, there was that other one. There was a Microsoft one. What was that called? Because I don't think it's there anymore. What was it called? It was before Skype and all that sort of stuff. It wasn't just called Chat, was it? Maybe it was Chat. Microsoft Chat. Was that a thing? Maybe it was Chat. But anyway, in terms of, I guess maybe that, because that was more, you'd be thinking of using a PC. But certainly from smartphones, WhatsApp has been, as soon as smartphones came in, and whenever WhatsApp was created, I'm not sure, but WhatsApp was the go-to because it was free, and then I think it was like you had to pay like $1 or something, I think, to use it forever. Like I think the first year was free, and then it's like $1 or something. So yeah, WhatsApp was more popular, but Telegram, I know quite a few people who use Telegram, but nowhere near as many as WhatsApp, like you say. Let's have a look at these other ones. I'm not sure if we know these other ones. So there is, and I guess the first three are all types of, no, this is right to say, but basically messaging apps, aren't they? I wonder if you've used most of these. So Snapchat has I think a lot of people thought Snapchat would come and go, They thought Snapchat would just be like, it's sort of there, sort of like with TikTok. I think a lot of people thought TikTok would sort of come and go and it'll be gone. But certainly there's a longevity. There's a longevity with those. And WeChat, I'll actually say the same people I see on Telegram also tend to, not all of them, I'd say probably 70% of the people that everyone uses WhatsApp that I know. And then the ones that use Telegram maybe would be, probably about 60% of that. And then probably, 70% of those. So 40% maybe of people would use WeChat. So that's the same as WhatsApp, I guess, but from China is the app. But I think you can do a lot more with WeChat as well. There's more sort of functionality. Unlike if you go to the some of the web pages for like China and Japan in particular, and maybe other countries as well. But so you see their web pages, and it's just a barrage, let's say, of information and text. It's just, the whole screen seems to be filled up with text and stuff. Don't use any of them, just WhatsApp and Gmail and Facebook and Messenger. And Shopee. I think Shopee has become, all ones like that have become popular with, I think in Central and South American countries and in Asian countries, Shopee is very popular, and with competitors as well. But I guess because a lot of people in America and Europe and Australia as well would think of Amazon, I guess, if they're going shopping online. This is a general, like, what's the one place to go? This sort of like the department store, if you like. But certainly Amazon has lots of competition in other parts of the world. And talking Ben the dog. Now, I had actually not heard of this, but I did have a look at the app, because it was ranked quite highly in quite a few countries, which was a surprise. So I'm not sure if this is just a trendy thing for the moment, but it was a curiosity to see this. I guess it's maybe in these COVID times, this was sort of an app that resonated with people. They think it's something to get away. So here we have some questions. What are your go-to apps for daily activities? So basically apps you check every day, or that you use every day, maybe in a functional way, or maybe just as a fun way. Maybe the function is to get away from other things. What annoys you about some apps? How often do you check? What permissions your apps have? And what pleases or worries you about the current crop of apps? So the current ones that are in the market and people use. as I say, what do you like about them, or what are you concerned with about them? So what pleases and worries you? All right, I'm going to refill my tea. Where am I? I am here. I'm going to refill my tea, and I'm going to be back momentarily, and I will be back in a moment or so. Yeah, I'll see you shortly. Okay. See. So my country, people use Mercado Libre. It's an app where you can buy and pay some stuff. As in, when you say pay stuff, does that mean pay bills and that sort of thing? Is that what you mean, Sonia? So like if you've got like a, I don't know, like a water bill or electricity bill or something. And they deliver what you buy. And is that, are we talking like any sort of stuff here? Because I have noticed a trend, and I guess this has been particularly since COVID, although I did see a couple of one app before COVID where they would deliver, you could order through the app and they would deliver almost anything. You could say like, I want something from the pharmacy, or I want something. You could basically, you tell them the shop. It's basically a taxi service. So you say, I want something from this shop or this restaurant, and they would go to the restaurant, order it, and then bring it to you. It wasn't just like the restaurants that were listed in the app. It was quite, I don't think they actually do that though in that app anymore. It's like changed, and they have the restaurants inside now. But that was when it first started. That was the part of the functionality. And so, yeah, like another thing that's, but what they do is, you have these apps now where instead of just buying something, say from the traditional ones where you get something from a restaurant or whatever, and it'll be delivered. But now you have the household products. So like basically your normal shopping. And so this is the question. So like when I say deliver what you buy, is it anything? Is it just sort of like if you buy a book or something, or is it any sort of products that you buy? Because I have seen these apps now where basically it's a supermarket, but it's not a supermarket that you can go into. Some of the supermarkets have them, of course, where you can buy on the supermarket app and they will deliver, and you have to the delivery charges I find in supermarket apps seem to be quite high, so I don't use them. there's no particular value, if except maybe unless the price is particularly good to balance it out. But these places, they have their dedicated, they have like these little warehouses in different locations, like, but very, very close to, different residential areas. So I don't know, like, I guess in different cities, like in one city, I guess depending on the size, they may have, I don't know, 5, 10 different like depots where they've got their products, like a supermarket. But as I say, you can't go in, but they just have people. So basically, as soon as the order comes in, they go, okay, we got that. But the selection, of course, is smaller than a traditional supermarket. This is the key, I guess. But you go and they go and they pick the stuff, put it in the bags, paper bags, going old style. I always remember, like, when I was growing up, it was always paper bags, and then suddenly they all went to plastic, and now it's all back to paper again. But they put in there, and then the delivery person jumps on a bike or whatever, and then scoots over to you. And some of these places, like from the time you finish ordering to the time that the stuff is in your home, can be under 10 minutes. It would take longer. It would take longer to walk to the corner store, in a traditional sense, to walk to the corner store, look around, get the stuff, pay for it, and bring it back. Obviously, it depends where the corner store is, but it could take longer to do that. Now, admittedly, I'm just talking about the delivery time, or from the time when you've finished making the order. So it's not necessarily a fair comparison, because if you go to the corner store, you're selecting as well. So it's not exactly a fair comparison, but you get the point anyway. So Mercado Libre is a virtual market. Okay. So it's sort of like I guess like in terms of the famous one, so it's sort of like Amazon in a way, and is okay. And I suppose from the name, I guess anyone, if they want to, can have a shop, so to speak, or a stall in that market. So if you wanted to, I don't know, if you wanted to say, hey, I'm gonna sell mugs or cups, you could go there, create an account and start selling them, I guess, is the part of it as well. So you have like your traditional shops, but then you also have independent people, like in a lot of the apps these days, I guess, are very similar like that. And I guess the question with those, okay, so yeah, it's similar, okay. That's very good, isn't it? So even though I know a lot of these, there's a lot of hassle for a lot of these apps because they make a lot of money and that sort of thing, and the commission that they take can be quite high. I think like a lot of them is like 20 to 30% maybe of commission, I think. If you're using, or maybe there's different types of like membership and that sort of thing maybe. But I think the commissions can be quite high for sales for some, I think. And that's also the issue that a lot of restaurants have with different sorts of apps for food delivery, is that the commission is too much, and basically it's a lot of restaurants don't make money, and that's why you'll see quite a difference. Like for the price of an item, they've had to raise the price quite significantly to try and cover that, to still be able to make a profit in the restaurant. But I guess for a lot of places and for a lot of people, it's made it easier to get into the market, to be able to sell something. So if you're not able to get to a market stall and spend all the time to set it up and to wait there all day, hoping that people will pass by and stop, and if it's a rainy day, maybe no one comes and all that sort of stuff. If you can just have your stuff, like Etsy, I think is a classic for that. Whereas people just like making all sorts of stuff, and then they can just put it on Etsy, and you can get stuff from people all over the world who are, most of them, I'm not sure if it's all of them, I'm not sure if it has to be handmade for everything. I'm not 100% sure with Etsy. But certainly like a lot of the stuff. I remember when at the start of COVID, when there was all the stuff about getting face masks, you would see so many links on different social media, whatever, for people selling their masks that they made. And some of them were just like plain masks, let's say, and other ones were very intricate, very stylish in their designs, and like properly artistic. And yeah, you would have different whatever prices and stuff, whatever. But it was an interesting time how that sort of trend went there. And then I think with that, perhaps more people got introduced to some of those sites. And then more people were able to become entrepreneurial and start their own businesses for different things. What annoys me about some apps is the groups in WhatsApp, especially the mothers groups with the schools. So what annoys you about about that particular thing? Is it, I assume the group function is good, just as the ability to have it. But I guess with a lot of groups, the problem could be the amount of messaging, or the amount of messaging, or the amount of messages that there are. And you just have these chains of conversations that just go on and on and on. And it's like you go away and then you look at the notifications and it's like 200, 300, with all these like, yeah, I don't know, what about you either? And it's like, and people, a lot of times people just gossiping about stuff, or stuff that doesn't matter, or people arguing about stuff. That's why I know in some groups that I've been in, that people try and be very strict in terms of this is only for this particular thing, and this other group, like if you want to just chat, go to this group. And if you want to do something like I'm in like some different teachers groups and that sort of stuff, if you just want to do something like about like a lesson or whatever, use this group. So yeah, I don't know. It's a like, I guess the good thing with that is that you have the ability to turn off the notifications. You know what I mean? You can turn them off, and yeah, so they're silent. Because sometimes you get them like in the middle of the night, you know, deet, and that sort of thing. That was really annoying. But at least you can mute the notifications. That's a good thing. Where am I? Here we go. Can mute notifications. I think the good thing is, well, you can mute them, but you can also mute them for a certain amount of time. So if you think people are just being, I don't know, if it's just like a particular conversation and it's going to be finished by tomorrow or something, you can mute it for, I don't know, 6 hours, 12 hours, and hopefully whatever the issue was has run its course. You can say. Hopefully by then, the issue has run its course. There's no more issue, basically. It's a nice little combination there for something to run its course. So it's finished. What gets to a natural end, I guess. Comes to a natural end. But I guess the functionality is somewhat good. I'm still getting into that Clubhouse one. That's basically, from what I see, is like a big groups in different forms, and yeah, some seem to be run better than others. It's a different one. In this kind of group, it's common to get angry because mothers discuss unimportant stuff. And mothers send a lot of messages. Yeah. Maybe with that, they should do like I was saying, like with some of the groups that I've been in, they would have two sections. So basically there was like a chat group. So if people want to talk about whatever stuff, they can talk about it. And then the other group is only for notifications. Or where, like, I'm not sure if the people from the school are actually involved, like if there are teachers or administrators from the school are actually involved with that group, or if it's just generally mothers, but without anyone official, let's say. But certainly that if it was something where there was officials involved as well, if there was just one group just for notices, or important information basically, and other ones for chat and discussion. But I certainly get what you mean. Lots of people go off on, like when I'm here talking with myself, go off on tangents, and they just go off in different directions. But I guess the problem with those groups, and I don't think it's possible to do. You can do it on your side, but I don't think it's possible for an admin to do. And then I guess it's hard anyway to do. But if there was a way for like I was saying, you have the two different groups, you could sort of have that 2-in-1, where you could have let's say the notifications flagged or starred, like they do in some of the groups or in some of the applications. You can star the messages, but normally you do that yourself. But if one of the admins for the group can star a message to say, these are the important announcements. And so then if you've got like whatever 300 messages, and it's like, I don't have time to read 300 messages, if you're able just to filter that with the ones that have been starred by the admin, you will see maybe the 5 or 6 messages that are particularly relevant. But I don't think that functionality is there. Not that I've seen. I'm not sure. I know in Asia they have, or particularly popular is Line as well for messaging. A lot of people are using Line instead of WhatsApp. And I think there you can have different groups as well. I'm not sure how exactly they work. Okay. Yeah, so you love the groups in which only the administrators can send messages. Yeah. Well, that's the same sort of like with, even though I have to say I haven't really posted too much. Like when I created the Facebook page, I made it so it's basically only me who can post. Like other people can write comments and stuff, but it's only me who can post there. And I know you can have permissions and stuff, so you can have like other people post, but everything needs approval and that sort of thing. But I don't know, I see a lot of the groups on Facebook, or a lot of the pages on Facebook, where people just write, it's just anything and everything, and you just got, it seems to be, I'm not sure if they're bots or real people just sharing. They just there's something and they just share it seemingly to whatever, 50 different groups. Sometimes it's relevant, sometimes not. But then the admins sometimes, not always, do something about it, sometimes not. And although sometimes I've seen they do something only because they're worried about competition. I've noticed that with a lot of the groups on Facebook. They're worried about, they've got to get their whatever followers or whatever it's called, likes and everything. And if there's anything that may suggest going to another group or something, it's like, oh, they're not happy with that. I don't understand question 4. Okay, so to be pleased with something is to be happy with something, basically. If something pleases you, that makes you happy, it's sort of it's an older fashioned type of word. You'll hear it in movies, maybe sort of period movies, but it is a word that you can hear from time to time. It's just something, it's just a different way of saying, what do you like, effectively? What do you like, or what makes you happy? And the other one, worries, is the opposite, I guess. What concerns you. And the current crop of apps, current is for now, and crop is basically group. So a crop, if you think of crop as in the most common definition, a crop is like if someone is growing stuff on a farm in the fields, like with wheat or whatever they're growing is their crop, and they need to harvest their crop. So they cut it down or bring it in, or they pick it, or whatever it may be is their crop. But a crop is also a group. So the current crop, so you could say the current crop of movies on Netflix are really exciting, or the current crop of TV shows are all to do with police and doctors, which seems to always be the case anyway. But the current crop is basically the current group. So basically the ones that people are using nowadays. So maybe there are older ones that people don't really use, so we're excluding those ones. So the ones that people use nowadays, what do you like about them, or what are you concerned about with those apps? If I look at question 3, I hope that made sense. If it didn't, let me know. I know with question 3, if possible, I try to restrict the permissions as much as possible. I always find it really weird when some apps want to know, want to know your contacts, or want to know your location, or what else? I don't know. Like, and I understand they're gathering data, and so that's why I'm concerned about them. But I always find it really weird and it's like some of them I can understand. Okay, well, some of them, if the app is to make phone calls, or I don't know, do something with photos, like you want them to find a person in a photo that's your friend or contact or something, I get all that. So I get it through the functionality, but some of these, like now it's improved a lot. I'd say compared to 10 years ago, which is a long time, but there used to be like the amount of permissions for an app, which was like, I don't know, if you wanted like the score, there'd be loads of apps where you're getting the scores, like the football scores or different sports scores. And it's like, they want access to your contacts. I'm like, why? And why do you need access to the camera, and why would you need access to the gallery? And I'm like, no, I'll just Google the score if I need to then. I always found that funny. And nowadays, of course, you can adjust the permissions quite well. So for things like location was always a bit of a scary one, when they're tracking your location. But nowadays it's not too bad. And with certain versions of I guess Android and iOS and stuff, I think it seems to be much better in terms of turning permissions on and off for different apps. And you get sometimes warnings for those permissions, or which apps are accessing different permissions or different information, which is useful, I think. But still, they probably use it or get more information than needed. But that's the world. You know, there's a like everyone says, there's a price to pay for free stuff. So, okay, so just a reminder, this is Have a Tea with Me. This is our live English conversation chat. 12 o'clock Universal Time, Monday to Friday, on the Lesson Jigsaw channel. All you need to do if you'd like to join is just to click on the link and you can participate. And if 12 o'clock Universal Time is not a good time for you, you can always send us an email, chatonlessonjigsaw@gmail.com. And send us an email, tell us where you are, what you like to talk about, tell us your time zone, and like in general, like the days and times when you'd like to chat and practice. Maybe you want to just practice general sort of chit-chat conversation, or maybe there's a particular situation you'd like to chat about. That's all open to you. So just send us an email. You'll see that scrolling across the bottom as well. And that's all that's open to you. So we're going to go in about 5 minutes or so. I think what annoys me about some apps, if I look at question 2, what annoys me is the ads. And ads are always, I guess, you understand that some apps and stuff have to have ads, but the way they do them can be very tricky. And they show, I don't know, you have to sort of wait for the X, but they put like 2 X's. So you think you're pressing an X, but in fact, that's part of the picture or something. And that takes you to the web page or whatever. And you have that with Gmail as well. When it's like you're loading either on the like a desktop or on the app, and it's like you get rid of the advert messages or emails, and then you go to press to check an email, and then suddenly flashes up another ad, and then you're tricked into pressing or clicking on the ad. I find that annoying. I consider that apps have arrived to change our lives. Yeah, I'd agree with that. They could be very useful in this globalized world. We can have contact with people from different points of the world, absolutely. And the apps open a world of different opportunities. Yes, we can learn, buy, work, chat, and so on. However, apps could be a big part of our time, and it could be something bad for us. Yeah, I guess it can be a distraction, can't it? In terms of the way we would normally live our lives. And we I think almost everyone does it when it's sort of like before you go to bed or first thing, like when you wake up, people checking their phones and that sort of stuff, or checking the apps, or, you know. And I guess people have always wanted information. Before, they might have just gotten up and put on the TV first thing to get the news or to check whatever. So maybe it's the same thing, just in a different way. Or maybe, you know, you would like call the person. So instead you send them a message. Or maybe you call them as well. It's all, I guess it's our responsibility, isn't it? How we use them and how we manage them. They can be addictive though. They can be addictive. like the games as well. You see people playing games. I always see whenever like I'm in a train or metro or bus or wherever, it's always interesting to see how many people are not on their phones with something. I understand the headset because that's like with the like listening to music, and because the music's on the phone, and that's been around for a long time now. I guess since the 80s, really, wasn't it? That what's it called? The Sony. What was it called? Whatever their cassette player was, and then the CD player. But yeah, so ever since you had particularly digital music, it's, and people can just have everything in the one device. You see more and more people with the headset listening to music and stuff, and I get that. But physically looking at the phones, watching a TV show, writing messages, playing games, reading the news. I guess maybe it's in between time when they're traveling, in between time, so when they're actually going to wherever they're going to, they can sit down in front of the person and talk to them. But that said, and you tell me, please, sorry, if it's different in Argentina, but I think almost everywhere. I know we were talking the other day about getting together with people and meeting them for like a social gathering and having a mate or something, like having a social drink. But I still see a lot of places where people are meeting for lunch or for a coffee or a drink or whatever it may be, and the phone's out. So they get there, hey, how you going? Good, blah, 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 talk, on the phone, check the stuff. And it's the amount of times you see that. Just like, it's good everyone could come together and check their phones at the restaurant. I don't know, it's a curious thing. It's, like I say, it's addictive for people. Apps could open the world for us. Okay, well, I like the use of the word there. But they can also jail us in a virtual world. So like we're imprisoned there. But I like the use of jail there. They've jailed us. It's a dramatic word. So it's because of the visual. We're locked in. We can appreciate this situation with, I mean, we always say young people, they always get the rap, but like in those examples that I was talking about before, it's a lot of young people, but it's older people as well. I mean, not less likely, I would say, and less often, if we're talking about people, I don't know, if we're talking 60 plus or something, maybe, or maybe a bit older. But you still, I think there's a wide age group that I've seen, and it's only gonna, as the generations move on, it's only gonna increase, I think. But it's the reliance. We've always wanted information immediately. I think that's why, like, when there's like breaking news, when it was on TV, everyone's glued to the TV, but now those TVs are in our phones. So we can get that information straight away if we want to, again, like watch a sporting event. It used to always have to be, you had to be in a bar or a pub or at home if it was shown on like normal TV or terrestrial TV. But now that's all in the phone. So people have access to whatever they want, more or less, as long as you got data or Wi-Fi. You can see stuff almost anywhere, and the signal, of course, you need the signal. But people they need to have that information. So I see what you mean with that, absolutely. But I don't know, in my experience, I think it's I think it's a wide age range, that has this addiction and habit of watching and needing access to their phones all the time, almost all the time. I understand. Like, I used to have these. When in teaching business classes, and it's the amount of students who would answer a phone call in class. And I know there are lots of urgent things that happen, but there are a lot of, there's a lot of non-urgent things as well. It's the same as like when people talk about meetings. I have to go to a meeting. And it's like, what happens if you missed that meeting, when everyone didn't have that meeting? What would change? And I wonder if people sort of think about that, where like, okay, if I miss that call, and I'll call them back in like 20, 30 minutes. And like I say, some things are going to be very urgent, and absolutely. And maybe you're expecting a call or news about something, or you need to, whatever, permission for something, and then you get the go ahead or whatever. But I always find it interesting when it's like some things can't wait. But then I guess the question is, how many things can't wait? Because it could be in so many meetings and so many different situations. Like, which one is the one where you have to always dedicate the time 100% and you can't interrupt it? I guess that's the natural question. So following on to that, I guess you have what we have now, where everything's mixed in, and it's, maybe it's not the exact thing, but it's like everything all the time, in a way. Okay. Well, I think we're going to leave it there. Thanks for coming in today, Sonia. Thanks for your participation and your comments. I think we have to get you on speaking again. It's quicker than the typing of the comments. That's the only thing with text, is it takes, and that's, I guess, why in a lot of the apps they have the voice recorder, so you can people don't want to be writing these big huge messages, so they just go, I'll just speak. And then it's much quicker to write stuff. Okay, so we will leave it there. Thank you very much for your participation. 12 o'clock Universal Time. We are here Monday to Friday for English speaking practice. Yeah, no, I know exactly. Yes. Okay. Next week there may be some different times. We may be on some days or not. Got my booster shot next week. So I'm going to see how I can work, because it's a bit more complicated than just getting a shot, unfortunately. So the times next week may be a little bit different on a couple of the days, Tuesday and Wednesday in particular. But we will see how it goes. Maybe a little bit later than the normal time. At least a couple of those days, but we'll see. We'll see how things pan out, as they say. All right. So hope you've had a great day, and you will continue to have a great day, and things are safe and healthy for everyone. And thank you for liking, subscribing, all that sort of stuff. Thank you, Sonia. Yes, you have a great weekend too. And take care, everyone.